Hello, welcome back to Silent Hunter 5. We still have the warships that are closing. One of the eccentricities of this game is that whenever you load a save game, it's actually going to delete all the marks that you've made. So I've made new marks with the intel that we've gotten from the hydrophones. And we still have, let's see, all of these are warships, and these guys, let's indicate a little bit better here. These guys are closing, so they're moving towards us. Currently at roughly 20-kilometer range. That's pretty decent. What depth are we at? We are at... Actually, where do you check that? Oh, there we go, 12. Yeah, I forget. 12 feet, so we're at periscope depth. And these guys are at constant range, meaning currently, because we're moving towards them, they're moving like so, roughly. That we're keeping such a distance that the hydrophone man hears them as keeping a constant range. Either way, we are in a very very poor position to do anything about these warships. If these warships are Polish even, which they might not even be, they might be German. Either way, I'm going to let's see if we can deliver a casualty report. We cannot, probably because we are underwater. Oh, look here. Wrong periscope. Actually, let's go for the observation periscope. I honestly don't even know why you should be using the observation periscope, because from my experience, the attack periscope is just way more convenient. It's higher up already, so you need to extend it less, and also it is... let's have it a bit lower so it's less visible here. But high enough so that the surf doesn't get into our lens. Maybe the observation scope has better zoom. These guys should be so far away that they have no chance of spotting us. The only reason we know where they are is because we're completely still and we can hear them on the hydrophone. In which case, let us set course southwest. Slow speed. So the Type 7 U-boats can keep about a course, or about a speed of 2 knots, I believe, underwater, which is not good, really. Oh, they're actually, let's see, we're turning the wrong direction. They're going something like this right now. What's going on there? I was thinking they're coming right for us, in which case we would want to get on a line so that we could ambush them along a line like this and have a 90-degree angle on it for our torpedoes to be able to hit. Like, launching a torpedo dead on onto a ship from the front is a very, very bad idea, specifically because the chances of hitting and deflecting yeah, it seems like these guys are going to get away. Let's get up a little bit, but keep our boat low in the water so we can maintain... Oh, we got a new radio message after surfacing. Rebase in Kiel for new orders. Alright. So, I believe our mission here is done. September 4th. What date is it? It is September 1st. Oh. There they are. We should probably be able to see them. Bit risky to do this. First, see if we can see them with the naked eye. We cannot. It's very foggy. Where are they? They should be at something like 0 and then the 350, 360. Oh, there they are. Actually, we can see them very clearly. They're very close. Is that on fire? Or were those... It looked like I saw either muzzle flashes or flames. Either way, we should get down. A little bit of a visual glitch here. We should get down and dive to periscope depth. So our current range is roughly like 9,000.
Tiefe beträgt 1,0 Meter. Dieselmaschinen stopp.
Yeah, diesel machine stop because you gotta run batteries when you're underneath the ocean. That's kind of the problem with the current generation of the Type 7 U-boats, is that we can't really run a diesel engine because we need an exhaust or a way to actually, you know, shoot out the fumes out of the boat, or we would all die. So the issue there becomes, we need to get on the this one so we can see them. The issue there then becomes like we need to then run the battery engine, or like the electric engine, which is way slower. However, later on in the war, when we get a snorkel, we can run the diesel engine because the snorkel can bring the fumes up. The exhaust. Where the hell are they? Should be at like 35 still, right? Or 350. 350, 340, 330 degrees. There they are. Yeah, that's smoke. Like, that's smoke from a fire. And that's an explosion, and those I think are rounds. They're fighting something. I can't tell from this range what their flag is, but it does look Polish. It does look like it's got red on the bottom and white at the top, which I believe is the Polish flag, right, at this time? What mode is this? Oh well. Let's try to go ahead standard. They shouldn't be hearing us because they've got so much noise going on right now. And they also shouldn't be seeing us because they're in a very stressful situation. So it could be Polish. Red at the bottom, white at the top. Yeah, that one is definitely Polish, at least. I think this one is as well. What is firing at them, though? Are they fighting a U-boat? Or what have they been hit by? Yeah, look at that. It's like exploding, and those look like rounds going left to right there. Do you see those like tiny little dots? Might be hard to see on the footage here. Either way, I want to get closer and have a closer look at this. How much air do we have and how long can we go? So CO2 is at 0. Compressed air 100. We should be good. I think battery is the one that runs out first if you're constantly running the electric engine, and then CO2 and air become problems when you're just like sat still waiting at That one is a destroyer, I think. However, this one. So that one, I think it looks like it's sinking just because of distortion from the horizon and all that. It's kind of like underneath the water, it seems. While this one, you can clearly tell the entire ship is here, and it's a different ship from that one. And it doesn't have it doesn't have angled smokestacks, and like this one, at least the bottom or the back one. These smokestacks aren't as evenly spaced, so these are definitely two different ships. It also doesn't have that like mast you can see there, and the flag's at the back instead of at the front. I'm guessing this is an armored cruiser of some sort. Which would be an amazing first kill. Imagine if these were German now and I was just completely wrong. So our current situation though is very non-ideal in terms of fighting these guys, because they're going to be faster than us unless they're extremely crippled, which they might very well be. See if we can recognize this one. So it's going to be a cruiser or a light cruiser, I think, but it's not any of these, because these are all British. Dido seems like it could be Greek. You know, for the Phoenician queen. Is there a way to turn the page on this one? I don't know if you can. We might have to go to the attack periscope. In fact, if we are intending to shoot these down, then we should as well, or we might as well. Now, keep in mind, this is going to be my first attempt at this in quite a while, and I would prefer to have... Oh, let's get the periscope down. I would prefer to have more of a... like, let's get the observation periscope down, is what I meant. I would prefer to have some more, like, space to make some mistakes, but it's also quite exciting to be fighting a warship. That's it there. We can hit space for to lock our view edit. For some reason it's not working though. Wonder why. Might be because we're so far away. They're going extremely slow. We're almost keeping pace, it feels like, and we're going at 4 knots. 4.5 roughly. They must be crippled. Let's see then. What was the recognition manual thing? Could probably talk to one of these guys and get a reading on it. Let's see, which one is the shooty officer? This is the torpedo man, but he's not the guy who actually tells us this information. It should be this guy, I think. Yeah, we can't target it, which might mean that it's actually friendly. I might have been pursuing a German ship. when I look at it right now, it looks more like just red and not actually red and white. The thing that would salvage this though is if we could find which ship this was. Then we could know if it's German or not. It's got those big ass smokestacks though. Very well spaced. You know, it honestly could be a... No, it's that's a warship. That is a warship. Two big spaced smokestacks. This is what it looks like to me. .22 knots max speed, 10,000 tonnage. Oh, whoops. That's a gun at the back there. Those are some big guns. Two big guns, nothing more. That I can see at least. Surely you must be Polish. There we go. I have a large warship bearing yes and yes. Oh, I thought for sure space would also have you lock onto the target. Well, we don't really need to lock on at all. We can sort all that stuff out later on. But now I want to know what it is. So in the default game, this guy will just tell you what it is. But that's kind of boring. That sort of eliminates half the battle in this kind of thing. Like, actually knowing the ships is very important. So... yeah, so we need to figure out what it is then. Which, why can I not find this friggin' manual? Should be on the attack periscope view. It should be like hidden off to the left here somewhere, like off screen. Surely I do not have to enable it or something. Yeah, I'll rebase and keel at some point. Oh, there it is, of course. Gotta hit this button. I am incredibly stupid, but so is the UI design here. So it's obviously not a floating dock. Got two stacks. Can't really tell much else from this. Why can I not look around here now? Reset. Alright. Nope. It is definitely not a submarine, obviously. We're just in like the wrong mode. Yes, we are. Why? This has always happened to me. Of course. God, it's been too long since I played this game. I thought I could just jump right into it again. It's been like a couple of months only, but the complexity of this game makes it so that you, like, when you forget a small detail, it just compounds. Right, finally. It's only been like a couple of minutes, so hopefully you're still with me. Like a couple of minutes of frustration. Let's see, so it's not that thing. Let's wait until we see the Polish flag, and then we'll have a look. Surely it can't be an escort then, because I'm not seeing any Polish ships. It's not a battleship. I refuse to believe that, even though I do see another gun up top there. I mean, it could just be like a strange... it has to be a light cruiser of some sort. It's not a Brooklyn, obviously. I mean, it kind of looks like this, but it doesn't have the angled smokestacks. Emden, no, that's much more heavily armed. It's got a raked bow, right? No, it's got a can't tell from this range. It's definitely not a King George V battleship. Okay, let's have a look at escorts then. Because it might just be that warships only accounts for battleships and stuff, or like only uses battleships and stuff. So it's not an A-class destroyer. Let's see. Poland. There we go, Poland. Grom destroyer, that might be that one. The front there. I'm gonna tentatively note that down as a Grom destroyer. This is Free Poland, so this is later on. This will be oh wait, no, actually from 1919. It could be, yeah, that one could be this as well. Or this. Polish have a lot of different destroyer types. No, I don't see don't see that ship. Then surely it must not be Polish. Let's get a bit higher up. Let's see if we can't get a better view. It might also get a better view at us. Oh no, that's definitely German. Yep. 100% German. That's why I got so confused about the ship class. So this is probably a German cruiser then. That is going to happen every now and then, especially when we start raiding British shipping. Of course, not when we're raiding off the British coast, but if we're raiding in Norway, it's going to be very difficult. But if we're raiding off the British coast, we can just usually operate on the assumption that every ship we see is going to be British. Either way, we're done here in the Baltic. I don't need to to embarrass myself any further, so I'm going to set sail for Kiel.
Zeichne Kurs, zeichne Kurs.
Which is our new base. Those were our orders. Well, let's close up this stuff. Give my cursor back, thank you. Let's close that stuff up. Goodbye, motherfucker. Let's actually have a look at what ship it could have been.
Boot auftauchen. Laufen auf beiden Dieselmaschinen.
Two stacks, and it's German. Could have been a Schleswig-Holstein pre-Dreadnought, but that looks a bit too compact. I think there was more space between the smokestacks. Not an Emden. Not a K-class. So it's not a cruiser then, or a warship in that sense. A look at escorts. I'm really just completely perplexed. These are all exclusively enemy ships, so we won't find friendly ships there. Let's turn off two smokestacks then and have a look. Might have been a troop transport, who knows? It did have guns though. Pretty big guns as well. That's a Bismarck. Dude, I love the dazzle camouflage. I'm thinking it must have been a Schleswig-Holstein then. Even though I kind of disagree with that, like it's sharing the characteristics of one. Also, we have a radio message. Let's have a look. Overt military operations have commenced against Poland. All Polish vessels are to be considered hostile and valid targets which may be attacked at the commander's discretion. Vessels of other nations are considered neutral and are not to be attacked. That is the kind of message we can later on decrypt with the Enigma machine, which I think we will, but I do need to enable a game setting for that to happen. As far as I know, we will not receive any messages for Enigma without the setting. Sometimes the first message you get comes as both Enigma encrypted and in plain text. Oh, and there the overt war itself has begun. The 2nd of September 1939. Our orders are to rebase in Kiel, but we could... no, actually we're not going to. We could stay around and look for Polish shipping, but my thinking is that because of the kind of asymmetry of the forces current, like present in this war at the moment, we're much more likely to find American ships. What am I saying? German ships and Soviet ships, considering that, you know, the Soviet Union is also invading Poland. So the chances of actually scoring a sort of profitable patrol in the Bay of Danzig is, I think, they're kind of limited. It would be good because we have a very limited amount of space that we need to patrol, but that also limits the amount of profitability for any of our ventures. Let's see, another radio message. Or not. Oh, of course, it might be in the next day. There we go, yep. Oh, here we go. It's an Enigma message. I know what we're doing next episode. I think this message is this message, but it might not be. Like you can see the words. It does not map at all to this. I mean, so Enigma messages are made up of like a bunch of letters in this order. So these two first here, and these two at the bottom here, are meant to signal. I'm not quite sure, like if it's the code wheel you're meant to use and all that. Basically, it's meant to give you the information you need to decrypt it. So basically, you use this, and then you use standard protocols like standard codes for which month of the war it is, and where you are in the world, and all that stuff. And we're going to do that next episode. Report there at patrol end. Yes, aircraft carrier Courageous, escorted by destroyer Sturdy, departed Portland before dawn to arrive at Plymouth later today. Those are the kinds of messages or intercepts that we can respond to and try to intercept those ships. I believe these are kind of randomly generated in terms of like, or they might be seeded in terms of historical, like by the mod creators, like placed in the game to correspond to historical movements. But yeah, we can use these to actually find real life existing at the time World War II ships and sink them. Battlecruiser Renown, yeah. Right, well, thank you for watching. Can I close this? Yes. Thank you for watching. The next episode, before we rebase at Kiel, we will decrypt this Enigma message. So I hope that you will join me for that. Until then, if you would like to reach me on social media, there are links in the description for that. Twitch, Twitter, and Discord. On Twitch, if you follow me, you will be able to catch me live whenever I start, you know, that project of streaming a little bit live. The content will probably be a little bit different from what it is on YouTube, so that, you know, YouTube remains its own thing, and then Twitch can be its own thing with more chat interaction and all that stuff. I'll still probably be playing a lot of history adjacent games, but in this case you can yell at me in real time for the stupid shit I do and the stupid shit I say. Ship sighted. Whoa, that's close. We'll have a look at it while I keep going off. It's nighttime, that's why we didn't see it. And the seas are rough. Some big old Das Boot vibes here. Yeah, so you can follow me on Twitch there, if you please, and also, if you'd like to support me, you can support me on Patreon, in the link in the description down below, or you could support me by buying games using the humble affiliate links in my videos. Like in the descriptions, I'll usually provide one for each game. If you do, I'll get a small kickback, and you will be supporting charity. Where is this fucking thing? Oops, like this, right? He's at 58 degrees. No, I ain't. Like, it's very dark and the seas are choppy, so it's hard to see. Probably just German. Or neutral. Could be Soviet. Anyways, that's about it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.